Hello guys, welcome back. Now today we are going to talk about which materials you should be looking for buying in these stock redistribution. Now this could include obviously it's going to include the Wuling shop and the Valley 4 shop. Now, when you are leveling up your stock redistribution market, is going to have different items that are going to pop there that weren't there before, so new items. And so let's go ahead and talk about like these items, which one you should prioritize. You can buy whatever you want, but which one you should prioritize in end game, like when you're playing the game on a normal basis. You've done everything that you've done. You rushed whatever you wanted to rush or not, whatever. Whenever you get to the end, when everything is max and everything is right there for you to get, what should you buy with your stock bills, right? Because your stock bills are going to start piling up at some point. So let's begin with the least useful or the least like important materials, which are like, obviously these materials, right? These like normal materials you will probably eventually buy whenever we are capping out of the wazoo here, like these points. When we're getting like max cap points constantly, if you have nothing else to buy, then obviously you could buy these materials here. I don't know the math. It's probably not that interesting to buy, but it could help you reach certain threshold, especially the big ones. But they are also kind of expensive, considering that you can buy 10 of this at 240,000 for like 20 of these, which is not even that much considering you need multiple hundreds. Same applies with stuff like this. For example, you can only buy 5 of these, 15 of these for 500k each, like every time you buy 5, which is kind of ridiculous. So this is a selector thing. Opening this chest requires advanced progression material of your choice. Like you can select one of these materials to level up your character to 90, or ascension material. Like you can see here. The enderman, for example, like if I wanted these, probably talking about these materials, rare progression materials, the yellow ones. Even just doing the domain is going to cost like 80, and it's going to be in deep dive. It's not going to be that easy to clear. It's not going to be like a one shot. So it's going to save you a bunch of time doing that. So these materials are actually pretty good. However, that's not the point of the video. That's what I wanted to show is everything else. Now, first of all, the sanity usage permit, it is good, obviously, and you can buy up to 100, but this seems to be permanent. Like this is going to, like it's not timed, it doesn't get refreshed. So this is most likely going to be replaced with a temporary one that gets refreshed temporarily for a higher price. Now, this is obviously going to help free-to-plays not playing as much, not having to repeat the same stage all the time. However, you need a lot of these for just one usage. For example, you might need 7 or 8 for just of these in a one shot, just to repeat one stage, which it gets very, very, very expensive. So keep that in mind. Now let's go ahead and talk about like the most important materials. Obviously, you could buy some weapon if you want, or you could buy these Valley Compass. Now, if you are using a interactive map, these don't really have too much value to you, even though they're not that expensive for their usage. But if you use them too much, they will become like okay-ish expensive. They do become kind of expensive, right? So these are compasses and detector for chests and Aurelene. This is for the Aurelene, and this one is for the chest. The way they work is that you're going to buy a consumable. It's like a flare. You throw this flare, it's going to do a AoE on the map. It's going to tell you, it's going to spot whatever the things are that you need to look for. Now, I suggest you try using this before you get to the interactive map, because I think it might be more fun to play with like the gadgets that you have in game to complete and try to 100%. I wouldn't use these until you don't know where to look anymore and you thought you explored everything. At that point, that's where you use this, in my opinion. Because I think exploring the world is fun in the game. So I don't want to get spoiled and become like WoWa, where it's like you do the loot mapper and it tells you exactly what everything is. You have infinite usage and you do it from the start. I feel like it's more important, it's more fun to explore yourself. That's my opinion, though. You can do whatever you want. So those materials are pretty good if you want to explore and you want to get help, but you don't want to use the interactive map from like websites. The most important materials, in my opinion, for the end game is the Value Engraving Permit. Now, the Value Engraving Permit is a ticket that you use when you are going to do an activity that I believe is going to become everybody's like end game loop. Once your main characters are level 90 and everything is maxed, and in that regard, right? The only two things that you're going to do in endgame, and maybe I'll make a video about this, so like more in detail, is going to be artificing your gear, and going to farm essences for your weapon so that you can etch essences and get your perfect stats and finally get those pips up to the max, or at least try to get as much as you can. So with this in mind, when you are going to do for the etching phase, right? The etching essence appears in something that is called severe energy alluvium. Now, I'm not sure. I'm gonna look into it, and obviously on the dedicated video that I'm gonna make about like the end game, like gearing and stuff like that, and how the loop is gonna be. This is just like surface level information because I haven't done it too much. I've done it in the beta, and I've done it here once. Now, if we go to the severe energy alluvium, why was I talking about those tickets? Those tickets are from this place. When you activate the place, you are going to get a random essence. However, you can pre-engrave the essence with a little bit of a help with this ticket. This the ticket that I just showed you from the shop. And you can select here the stats that you want, or some stats that you might need. So in this case, let's assume I want to get an essence, etch an essence, and try to make it so it drops something that I truly need. And then we kind of customize it by saying agility, strength. Let's say we want it for endmin. Agility, strength, maybe main attribute. You have to select 3. You can't just single it out with agility and strength. You have to do 3. So main attribute, agility, strength could be cool, because main attribute for us is agility. So it's still good. Then we can go secondary stats. What do we need? Do we need attack boost? Maybe we need ultimate gain. If you whatever you want, whatever your weapon is asking you to have. I'm not gonna do it, so I'm not gonna click it, but because I don't have the tickets. But just to show you, and then let's say you have a flow, or maybe you have crasher or assault. This is how it's going to be. So you either want you either click the secondary stat, or you click the skill stat. The other stats on the etching are going to be random. So that's the random portion of the encounter. That is not going to be that deterministic, and you're not going to be done anytime soon if you're unlucky. And so you need one engraving ticket. Where do you get them? You get them from the stock redistribution, as I told you before. This is in my opinion, these are the most important materials that you should consider buying after you're done buying everything, or like expanding your factory and everything is bought. Every upgrade of every facility is already bought, and the only thing that you can buy is whatever you want from these shops. This is when you start buying these, even if you don't use them, because these are very important for endgame, and these don't expire. The 6 days is on the refresher or the week. Like you're gonna have 12 to buy at 400k for this week to just reset, by the way, and 24 to buy at a higher price for 6 days. I don't know if once you buy all of these, if a third one that it's permanent, that it's for like maybe 1 million each, is going to spawn. I have no idea, maybe, but doesn't matter. You should be considering buying these as soon as you can if you have leftovers. When it comes to this, is where you use them, right? And so this is something that you're going to do end game. That is it's an end game farm for you to get stronger, and that's basically one of the 2 ways for you to get stronger. But that is another topic. When we go and talk about Wuling now, and the Wuling shop is going to be slightly different, but the concept is the same. So when we go to stock redistribution, we see that there is still the engraving permit from Wuling. So you can do that as well on Wuling and do the same exact thing for the severe energy alluvium over there. So you can combine the effort, let's say. You still have the Sanity usage permit, which I don't want to buy. I can't buy for some reason. Because it's 60k and I have 49. And then we have these pieces of gear. If you need them or if you want to get them done, you should buy them, so you have more options. Then you have the same materials here for the detector and the compass, and then you have a special material called artificial catalyst. Now this is the second important thing that I showed you earlier, like the gear and the etching phase. The Wuling artificing catalyst is for the gear artificing, which is where you go to your gear. And you have to go inside the camp, sadly, because otherwise I can show you. You can do it in the camp where you are, like in your base. When we go into L and we press the gear crafting system here, we'll see artificing at the top. What does this mean? This is when you are picking up the material, the piece of gear that you have, and combine with, let's say, a bone crusher mask. We want this to be stronger. We want more agility, more strength, more damage bono versus staggered. You have 0 out of 9 total attempts to total upgrades, successful upgrades, until it caps, right? So you can only, it's basically, it's not a problem. You don't have to choose. It's agility can go up to 3 times. Strength can go up 3 times, and damage bonus versus staggered or whatever bonus everything else has can go up 3 times. So what you do is you use the same exact material if you can. Otherwise, you can use other unused materials, as you can see, whatever extra material you want, and you are basically attempting this. For attempting this is free, unless the only thing that it consumes is Wuling artificing catalyst, which is what we just saw. So to attempt this, we need to buy the catalyst. And the catalyst gets more and more expensive with us buying it. As you can see, it's 60k, 40 for 60k per week, then 20 for 120k each per week. And then there is the permanent stock, which is 200 for 99. So for it's 12k, but this is the first permanent stock. After this, you will have to buy. I feel like if you can, you should buy these per week because they refresh. So technically it's infinite, but they cost way more. So depending on how many stock wheels you're making per day, you might have different approaches. But obviously this one is the most cheap one, and the first 200 stocks are minus 99. There might be a permanent non-discounted one that pops up after you finish everything, but the concept is this, right? 2 materials, a Wuling artificing catalyst and the ticket for the etching, plus other useful materials that you might want to buy. That is it. There's not much else to buy from these goods, besides maybe you want to buy like these fun things, and obviously you might want to buy gifts here and there, because if you didn't notice, there is when you go to a character, they have a value that is locked. As you can see, if we go here, there's a value that is locked because you need to gift them to increase their trust. By increasing their trust, you are getting extra stats. Now, this might be not something that you want to do immediately, because at the end of the day, this is just 65 extra 65 will in this case, which is cool, I guess, right? It's not something that you want to spend like millions on gifts on, right? So with time, maybe you interact with the characters that you want to level up on the Zhang and farm that, or if you have leftovers, you can buy some gifts here and there. But that is literally it. There's nothing else about this video. So next up, I might do what I said earlier, focus more on how the artificing works, but I basically told you. So we'll see what's next. That's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.